What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Today, we're talking Unrivaled. Finally, it has been so much fun. I hope you guys have been tuning in each weekend, every game or all the games are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So your whole weekend is packed with Unrivaled games if you're like me. And today we're going to rank them. We're going to put them in a little pyramid style ranking of the teams. We're going to talk through them, what I like about them, how they could maybe jump a tier throughout the season. So we're going to go through it. Let me just say that last year, there were some teams that around this time, what is this, week 3, going into week 4, that they were at the bottom tier. And then they were able to rise all the way to the top. Rose was one of those teams, and they won the championship. They did not have a strong start. So don't be discouraged if your team is at the bottom right now, because they could definitely climb. Okay, so let's go with the bottom of the pyramid first. Lunar Owls is the team that I would put last. And here's why. They are sitting at 1-4. Good news is that they got their first win this past weekend over Vinyl. Marina Mabry went off for 31 points. She was cooking, and she got the game-winning shot. Marina Mabry and Aaliyah Edwards have been combining for like 90% of the team's points. And I don't think that is sustainable throughout the entire season. So they definitely need some help from their other players. The other good news is that you have Skylar Diggins back. You started the season, Skylar Diggins was on the bench, she was injured. Now she's coming back. She's going to be able to be that point guard and get everybody in order. But there's also some patience and some grace for somebody coming back into or from injury, especially in this fast-paced 3-on-3 format. So I'm not expecting Skylar to come in and drop 30 right away. But I think Aaliyah Edwards, Marina Mabry just need some extra help. And I think Skylar can do that. Other thing, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Marina Mabry has started a crash out jar. Yeah, because she is already a couple crash outs in. A little feisty. We know what we're going to get from Marina Mabry. So if anything, watch the Lunar Owls just for that. But they have some room to grow to be able to climb up that pyramid. Marina Mabry's doing incredible. Almost 30 points a game. Again, she scored 31 points in their win against Vinyl. They need more of that. Like, she's going to have to average like 35, 40 points for them to keep winning games. Don't know how sustainable that is, but Lunar Owls, you're at the bottom of the pyramid right now. The next team who is at the bottom is Hive. Now, Hive also got their first win this past weekend. So they are also 1-4. They had an incredible win over Rose, which I don't think anybody saw them being able to get their first win over a team like Rose. But Hive, they have a lot of new players to Unrivaled. Their only returning player that has been in Unrivaled before is Natisha Heidemann, half of the Stud Buds. Sanaya Rivers, incredible. Going to be one of the best defensive players in Unrivaled and in the W. Her career defensively, she's carving out a lane for herself, and it is on full display. In the 3-on-3 format, you are on an island. You do not want to get cooked. You don't want someone to blow past you, but also in a way that it's able to show off your offensive bag, it's also showing off Sanaya Rivers' defensive bag. So I love that for her. But Kelsey Mitchell, I think we have Bree Hall right there for the picture, but Kelsey Mitchell is one of those players that I said early in the season when Hive was getting blown out, her speed is what is going to be her advantage in this format. And once she figures that out, Hive is going to be in great hands. Kelsey Mitchell is such a fast player that she needs to know where on the floor she can turn up, put on the brakes or put on the gas. And I think this 3-on-3 format, she really needs to figure that out. So it's coming into her own. Hive, they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. They got to score a little bit more points than 64 points to stay in the conversation with a lot of these teams. A lot of the other teams are scoring 80, 90 almost every single game. So they have to pick up the scoring, but I'm not counting them out. Also, another player to shout out on Hive is Sonia Citron. She is a bucket getter. She is also trying to figure out this 3x3, 3-on-3 format, but her shot is falling. She was staying encouraged. Hive was able to talk to Lisa Leslie at the Unrivaled facilities, and she got them right, and they were able to get their first win. So coming into this weekend, they have games starting tomorrow for Unrivaled. I would bet that Hive gets another one this weekend. So fingers crossed for them. Okay, moving on. Still on the bottom tier of the pyramid, I'm going to go with Vinyl next. So Vinyl, according to the standings, this is still accurate. They are 2-3 right now. And despite having a really, really strong start, and the person who is having the strongest start is De'Erica Hamby. Are you kidding me? Also, BG has been showing out and having some really, really good games, especially the game against Breeze. I just call that out. But De'Erica Hamby set the scoring record for Unrivaled with 40 points. 40 points, you guys, in 18 minutes. 40 points in 18 minutes. Unrivaled is already a shorter court, faster pace, shorter quarters. To score 40 is insane. Like, she was firing on all cylinders. She was able to get the game winner with that 40 piece. But Vinyl sitting at that bottom tier, I think it's more of, I don't want to say chemistry, because a lot of these players have played with each other before. You have Ryan Howard and De'Erica Hamby, who were on the Olympic team together. You're bringing in Erica Wheeler. BG was in this format last year with Unrivaled. So I don't want to say that it's a chemistry problem, but I would say it's a consistency throughout the game. They have some high moments, they have some low moments. They allow teams to go on a run on them. And in these games, like I said, they're shorter games, and each quarter, the end of the quarters matter the most, because you go into the fourth quarter with a target score. So it's no time on the clock. It is fully a target score that fourth quarter. So you have to push towards the end of these quarters to make sure that you are closer and closer to be the one that is the closest to the target score at the end of the day. So I think they would start quarters really well, then have a lull through the middle, and then fall off towards the end. You have to have consistency, high pace throughout the game. And I think that's where Vinyl kind of misses a step, and why they're at this bottom tier. But I would not count them out. Vinyl is a very strong team. I could see them climbing to the next tier this weekend. So not counting them out. Next team, who was really at the bottom tier last year, but is a much better team. And Mist fans, Misties, you should feel so confident in this team this year. The Mist are way, way more put together this go around. And I feel like Brianna Stewart said, okay, Fee, you got the really good team last year. And now I get the really good team. They are stacked with Veronica Burton. Stewie is healthy, finally. And other thing I wanted to mention about the Lunar Owls, of course, they thought they were going to have Fee, but she is out with injury, had to have surgery on both of her ankles. But Brianna Stewart, the other co-founder of Unrivaled, Alicia Gray is an Olympic gold medalist in 3-on-3. So they have a full, well-rounded group. And Leah Rue has been balling out of control. I was asked on my podcast this past week, the Women's Hoop Show, who was a surprise this season so far in Unrivaled. And I said Leah Rue. She has been able to stretch the floor because she can shoot it as a post player, but her footwork, she looks like she's in great shape. So I love what Leah Rue has been able to add to this Mist roster. Alana Smith is the starting post player for Mist, but she's been having some foul trouble. She had 4 fouls in the first quarter this past game for the Miss. So they need her on the floor. She can't help anybody if she's in foul trouble. Stewie has been great. Arike Gumbawale has been great. They have fallen to in some close games. So they are very much in it. They've just fallen a little bit short, but overall, 3-2 record. There are a bunch of teams sitting at 3-2 in Unrivaled this season. I think the parity is super there. A lot of teams are evenly matched every single night. So that's why I have missed right here, but they are, as you can see, almost in that second tier, way better than last year. I think last year they started 1-7. Like it was rough. So already better than last year at this time. Okay. The next team that we have is Phantom. Now, Phantom is one of those teams that is super exciting to watch. You have a lot of explosive guards in someone like a Tip Hayes, a Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum was supposed to play in Unrivaled last year, but she took the time off to just rest her body. You have Tasha Cloud, just a lot of great experienced guards. And then they're able to throw it inside to Aaliyah Boston. I have been super impressed with Aaliyah Boston this season. We saw it last year with the fever and how she was able to grow her game and finish around the basket. But her hands are so good. She is able to catch and finish almost any ball that is thrown in there. Kelsey Plum is a great passer. Natasha Cloud is a great passer. They are just able to throw it anywhere near the backboard. Aaliyah Boston is going up and grabbing it and finishing. She is super efficient, and it has been fun to watch her grow. You can see her getting better as a post player and a dominant post player at that. Kiki Ariafin is also being coming from her rookie season. This is the perfect opportunity for her. I think she is going to get so much better at picking her spots on the floor, being able to add that mid-range as well. The midi game in Unrivaled is huge. So I love that Kiki is able to play with Aaliyah Boston because they are bouncing off each other and doing super well. Phantom is a team that I also picked as one of those sleeper teams. Like they could accelerate at the right time heading towards the postseason and be in the mix for a championship and kind of surprise a lot of people. So don't sleep on Phantom. They are a super, super good team. Ghost Gang. Love it. Okay, now we are entering the next tier of the pyramid. Tier 2. These are teams that are also 3-2, but are crawling for that number one spot. We're at a number one spot maybe a couple games ago. First is Breeze. Yeah. Let's talk about Breeze real quick. I am a Breezy girl. Fully. Love Breeze. Or actually, let's talk about Rose. Let's do Rose first. Let's do Rose, and then we'll get to the Breeze because I am Team Breeze. I've said it before, so I was just a little excited. Let's do Rose. Rose has Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray has been unconscious this season for Rose. All right. They have Kalia Copper back. She missed those first couple weekends from injury. But Chelsea Gray has been throwing dimes, no looks, behind the back bounce passes, coming down, shooting threes, shooting mid-range, has had 30-piece after 30-piece, has probably missed out on a triple-double with assists a couple times because some of her teammates haven't finished those layups. Chelsea Gray has been unconscious this season, and it has been thrilling to watch her work. I think this idea around Chelsea Gray that, oh, maybe she's washed, maybe she's towards the end of her career, all this, and they were saying this last year in Unrivaled too. She is the only player to have an Unrivaled championship, a Finals Unrivaled MVP, a WNBA championship, all in the same season, all in the same calendar year. She is used to winning, and everyone else just gets better when they are around her. Rose started off looking like they were unbeatable. Like it was, all right, give it to Rose. They're going back to back. But since then, there have been some other teams that have, mixed up the pot a little bit. But I love Rose. I think they are a super solid team. Chelsea Gray is leading them. I think Shakira Austin is also getting a lot better this offseason just being around Rose. The other player I want to shout out for Rose, Azurá Stevens, is looking incredible catching passes from Chelsea Gray. People are saying, we mentioned her in those free agency talks and talking about those on the stream before. Azurá could be going to Vegas. I don't know. This pick and roll duo is looking a little too good to not see in the WNBA season as well. But Rose, you are sitting at second tier. Can't wait to see a matchup with Laces and Breeze again to fully claim that top spot. But yeah, I got Rose sitting right there at 3-2. The next 3-2 team is the Breeze. I got excited because I am Team Breeze. I'm a breezy girl. This roster is youth. It is the youngins of women's basketball. It is the future of women's basketball. You got Rickea Jackson throwing passes to Dom Malonga. Then Dom getting assists from Paige Bueckers. Paige, we already knew that she is Paige Buckets, but this is allowing her, Unrivaled is allowing her to really show off her craft, how she can pick her spots. Rickea Jackson too. I think Rickea Jackson's length is really on display here as well. Being able to finish at the rim, shoot over people in the mid-range. But let's talk about Paige. Paige is so good at basketball. She is a walking bucket, a highlight reel, and also a really great free throw shooter. Unrivaled had kind of a game within a game with the players up until this past weekend. Who had the most free throws, who had the best percentage, got an extra $50,000. And Paige Bueckers won that, going, I think it was 13 for 13. There were some technical free throws in there. She was able to draw some contact, and she walked away with an extra $50,000 in her pocket, which is well over half of her rookie salary. And she made it in a couple weeks. Yeah, we have a long way to go when we talk about money and salary. I love Breeze. I think that they have potential to shock everybody and have the youngins win the whole thing. They would be insufferable. This is also the tier of really, really good social media because Rose is a must follow on social. And Breeze, yeah, really, really good. Any Paige Bueckers content is going to do numbers on social. So love this tier. Breeze, Rose, those are it. Before we get to number one, let's go to the chat really quick. Roxy says, Gray's 60% from three is not sustainable, but the single game playoff system means anyone can get hot and win. I would like to agree that 60% from three is not sustainable, but she has been able to sustain it throughout these 3 weeks. I don't think it's going to stay 60%, but even if she can say 45, even 50%, that is incredible numbers. And I think she's just having that type of season where she can't miss and she's scoring in bunches, you guys. Like, that's the crazy thing. When you have Chelsea Gray on your team on Rose, you're never out of it. So we talked about that target score for the fourth quarter. You can, if you're down by 10, the target score is 11 points difference from the team who's leading at the end of the third quarter. So for Rose, in those games that they have been down, they have made up ground because Chelsea Gray is shooting back-to-back threes, three, three, and 1 3, 4 point play. Like she is just scoring so quickly and you can't be stopped. Someone told me on Threads, they're like, maybe you got to tase her. I said, call the FBI, do something because you got to lock the doors to the gym. That's how hot Chelsea Gray is. But you're right, with the single game playoff format, this is how it was in the W for previous years, that one and done type of deal. That's how Rose was able to get to the championship last year. They were not super great during the regular season, but they got hot at the right time. I think Phantom would be one of those teams that would really benefit from that single game strategy in the playoffs because they can get hot. They have someone like KP who can explode for 30, 40 at any point. So that's why I have Phantom as that sleeper team. I think that format works for them. All right, drum roll for the last team at the top of the pyramid. It's Laces. Yes, Laces is sitting at 4-1. And that is because they have Jackie Young. Jackie Young is playing out of her mind. It has been incredible to see her be healthy. I think we got robbed last year from a Jackie Young Laces run. I can't help but think about, Kayla McBride is one of my favorite players. She was on Laces last year. If she was on this team, now that they are all fully healthy, chef's kiss. They would be even more in the number one spot. But Jackie Young and Brittany Sykes have been a duo that I don't think a lot of people were expecting coming into this. I know we all know what Jackie Young can do. She is also a gold medalist in the 3-on-3 format. But Brittany Sykes has really turned up her offensive game. She started in the past WNBA season when she was with the Mystics and then getting traded to Seattle. Now she's coming into Unrivaled, showing off her 3-point, her long range. We know she has the speed, the quickness to get to the rim, and we know the defense is going to be there. But to add the shooting has been super beneficial for this Laces team. When you look at them averaging, almost 74 points a game, Jackie Young is dropping 30 pieces, 25, or I think she had like 20 in the second quarter in their last win, a comeback win. She's just on a whole nother level this season. And Jackie Young, she started a TikTok. She's learning how to juggle. She is outspoken. It's like, who is this person? J.O. is on a J.O. 2.0. It's been really, really cool to see it develop. But Laces, I don't even feel like I feel like we've had a good Alyssa Thomas game, but we still haven't had a great Alyssa Thomas game. And they are still 4-1 and sitting at the top. So I think their ceiling of everything coming together, they have Naz Hillman, Jordan Canada. They have a solid, solid roster, and everything's just clicking at the same time. This is one of those teams, and this goes for everybody, of course. We always say you got to stay healthy, but Laces were at the top before last season, before a lot of injuries started happening. So as long as they stay healthy, it really is, they could run away with it. They are looking so, so solid. But here are my rankings, you guys. The club rankings at the bottom tier: Lunar Owls, Hive, Vinyl, Mist, Phantom, all really good squads with great teams and rosters put together. Just gotta close that gap a little bit. The second tier, we have Rose and Breeze, two teams. I think it's kind of opposite. You have the Rose with some of the vets, the super vets. Then in the Breeze, you have the youngins, a bunch of rookies, and Cameron Brink, who's also been playing incredibly well on the Breeze. Then at the Laces, you have that mix. You have those youngins, but still feisty, still wanting to get a championship, still a lot left in the tank. And that is being led by Jackie Young. But I'm telling you guys, you have to tune in to Unrivaled. It's on TNT, True TV, HBO Max, Friday night, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays. It is so good. I mean, the games are quick. They're fast paced. You can just have it on. and they're fun. Like the environment is so fun. And it's just fun to know when your favorite players, you can see them during their off season. For so many years during the off season for women's pro basketball players, they were overseas, and if you weren't waking up at 4 a.m. to watch their games in Europe, they were just nowhere to be found. So it is super, super helpful and super great to have a league like Unrivaled to watch your favorite teams go off in the off season. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you would change any of my tiers or rankings. Let me know your thoughts, but I will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out.